Spoiler alert! In today's video, we're going to be talking about bourbon, the alcohol. And that's right, it's because we're talking about the state of Kentucky and why Kentucky might be a great place for any international student looking to pursue their education, their higher education in the United States. And you might know this already, but Kentucky is the home of bourbon. You have big breweries, big companies known worldwide in the bourbon industry, such as Four Roses, Wild Turkey, or even Jim Beam at that. So we're starting off with an alcoholic theme. Home of bourbon would be Kentucky. And let's see what else Kentucky might offer for any international student looking to study in this state. Well, to continue with that economic topic, I would say, Chevrolet or even Corvette were actually founded in Kentucky, and they have one of their manufacturing installments there in the state as well. So it is a booming economy. You have a pretty good spectrum of sectors that are pumping dollars into the economy, even though it is primarily known for its agrarian and agricultural background and economic benefit and profit. Now, this state is also known as the bluegrass state, referencing a very common type of grass that is found typically in this state and across the US and even Europe. It doesn't necessarily mean it's unique to the state, but it just received that name because of the abundance of this grass. But when it connects, bluegrass, the blues, you also kind of take it to the music industry, which again, Kentucky is very well known for, and it's commonly denominated as the birthplace of blues. You have fantastic artists and celebrities coming out of this state. When discussing celebrities, however, I would have to highlight two special talents and special celebrities that just kind of came out of Kentucky out of nowhere. Number one would be the first Republican president. Abraham Lincoln was originally from the state of Kentucky. And number two is the most famous boxer worldwide, Muhammad Ali. Again, originally Cassius Clay, coming out of the state of Kentucky. And there's a long list of celebrities that have found fame and fortune from this famous state. Perhaps not a celebrity per se, but the famous chain KFC also was started, as the name indicates, in Kentucky and has since become a global chain and referenced restaurant for chicken lovers. But the origins are actually coming from Kentucky, and you can actually go see the first chain or the first restaurant of this later to be chain, and just see how it looked like, or even the kitchen that Colonel Sanders used for the development of his secret and special chicken recipe. Now, all this just goes to show that there's a cool blend and mix between the economic and also the social and cultural heritage that this state inherently has, and the blending of it. If you add to this the very friendly manner and the hospitality that residents in Kentucky typically have, you have a wonderful mix of not only activities that you can do, but also cultural and community events that you can definitely feel a member of. Added to this, Kentucky does have 4 seasons, so you can expect to have nice warm summers, hot summers, warm or chill falls and springs, and then a colder winter with some rare snowfalls, but on average quite mild at that if you compare that, for example, with more northern states. So you have a great blend of social, culture, community, and weather conditions that just make that perfect blend. Continuing with that trend, or with that topic of outdoor and the weather conditions, you have wonderful national parks. Kentucky is very well known for its visual appeal when it comes to its landscapes. One, for example, would be the Boone National Forest and National Park, where you have one of the most beautiful waterfalls found in the entire country, located in this magnificent and green state of Kentucky. Now, as I referenced at the beginning, horses play a very big part in Kentucky's culture. You have the Kentucky Derby every year happening in the state of Kentucky. It's one of the most world well-known horse races on the planet, and it is considered, along with another city in Florida, the capital, the horse capital of the United States, and that would be Derby, Kentucky. Now, along this cool mix of activities, sightseeing opportunities, landscapes, etc., you also have a very cool small city vibe, small village vibe, with beautiful picturesque cities, towns, villages that just make it very, very appealing. And one cool example of that would be the Kentucky State Capitol in Frankfort. There you have a beautiful marble staircase designed by the architect Frank Mills Andrews, and it is considered one of the most beautiful Capitol architectural designs in the United States. So please be sure to check Kentucky out for this building in particular, but overall for all the picturesque small little villages and towns that it has scattered across the state limits. Now, when you take all of this and you look into the academic side of things, you do get a nice blend of private and state institutions that offer, quality education and very well regarded schools. None more than the University of Kentucky, or UK. It is the largest school in the state. It is the highest ranked institution in the state as well. It offers a great blend of a lot of different programs with outstanding job market potential. Actually, the job market has been growing 8% for new graduates this last year. So it is a wonderful opportunity for all of the students that study in the Kentucky area, not just internationals, to finish their degree and actually enter the job market. Not only this, but also the state itself has a lot of different NGOs or different almost companies that help their students reach the job market and give them advising solutions, or just try to place them into the job market in Kentucky to keep those new employees in the state limits, and that way they can grow their economy. When you look at other institutions, for example, Western Kentucky University, among many, many others, you're also going to notice that the cost of tuition is slightly below the national average. Again, that depends on what institution you decide to look at, but you will find below average cost of attendance at these institutions in the state limits, and that's probably because the cost of life in Kentucky is actually below the national average. So for students that are on perhaps a tighter budget, or they're looking to save some bucks on their education in the United States, Kentucky can open the door for that opportunity, especially if you don't want to sacrifice the quality of education or the natural appeal of the state itself. Centrally located, very good connections, it has a beautiful landscape. All in all, below average cost of attendance. All in all, a wonderful opportunity for many international students. Now, one small caveat that I would like to point out is that on average, Kentucky is a smaller state perhaps than larger states. For example, the state of Texas, which we have a video, you can find the link right there. So it is a smaller state by dimension, and the cities themselves tend to be much smaller as well. Their biggest city is still a medium-sized if you look at other larger cities across the US, and has a lot of very medium to small size cities. So if you are the type of person that you're looking for a mega city where a lot of people come together and you have this huge diversity of cultures, Kentucky probably isn't that location. But having said that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have variety of options to choose from, or diversity when it comes to the student population on your college campus, because it will have that. It just doesn't have perhaps the scale as other larger cities, like for example Dallas in Texas. So be mindful of that. It is a smaller state and city sizes, but with that comes a close-knit community, which I think is one of the bigger advantages that Kentucky can offer. It does have a very personal feel, personal touch, regardless of what you're looking at, whether that's your education with kind of one-on-one relationships with your professors, but also in a community where pretty much everybody knows each other in these smaller towns, and they can, work as a community to find solutions to any given problem. Well, that's Kentucky for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed listening to the different facts, aspects, and items of this beautiful, beautiful state. If you don't want to study in the state of Kentucky, I totally understand it, but please be sure to go check the state out in person because it is outstandingly beautiful, and you will be surprised by the atmosphere, the people in Kentucky. So I do recommend a visit to this beautiful, beautiful state. But if you want to know more information about this or any other state, and you want to know what are your options, your possibilities as an international student yourself, then please go to the description of this video. In that description, you're going to find a link that will take you to a form. The moment you fill out that form, Epro 360 will give you a free consultation to just better address any of your open questions or what possibilities I might have as an international student in the United States, and we can better assess how to move forward. So please go to that description, click that link, and see where that journey to the US is going to start. And if you've liked any of this content, then please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and activate the notifications in order to get notified the moment we create more content of the US for you. Until then, thank you very, very much.